Hi everyone, for your maths lesson today, we're going to continue to focus on our learning intention over here, which says to use your knowledge of the order of operations to solve number sentences correctly. So we're going to have a look at a little trick that comes up in this question, and you might notice a missing operation. But firstly, I'd like to just touch on this little tool here. So you might have seen it written these two different ways, so BOMDAS or PEMDAS. They both mean the same thing, they just include different words, so that's why they have different letters, but they both mean the same thing. So I just wanted to clear up something. So the last few days I have been showing you this the opposite way around for these two. So we've had the exponents first and then the brackets. I was actually wrong about that. It is the brackets first. For your questions that you've been answering, it actually doesn't make much difference. This is for pretty advanced maths that you need to remember those, but of course it's important to learn it the right way. So please screenshot this or write it down in the correct order. So I'm really sorry for that misunderstanding, but we all make mistakes in our learning, and hopefully that'll help you remember even more because I've made a mistake. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, I'm happy to explain that in a bit more detail. But essentially, if you follow these steps, so do the brackets first and the exponents, and I'll show you soon why I got them confused and why it's easy to get them confused. And then the divide or multiply, add or subtract, you'll get the correct answer, just as we've been doing. I'm sure that this won't make much difference to what you've been doing anyway, but it's very important that I fix my mistake just as I expect you to fix yours. All right, so we're going to go through this question here. 6, and there's something missing, and then in brackets we've got 2 to the power of 2, which is the same as 2 squared, take 1. Now with a missing operation we probably need to sort that out before we start. So when there is a gap, or no, sometimes there's no gap really, but when there's a whole number beside brackets, there is an invisible multiply symbol there. I think it's just to make things shorter when they have super long number sentences. So I wanted to show you how that would help us to work this out. So now we know that 6 multiplied whatever the answer is from the brackets. We go over to our handy tool over here and we start with the brackets, which this is where I'm going to show you it can get a bit tricky. We're starting with the brackets, but we can't even do what's in the brackets without the exponent. So they're kind of, these two are sometimes on the similar playing field. So let's do this first. So the 6 multiply stays in the same spot, or you could just have it without the multiply, it's up to you. And then we do the exponent inside the brackets first. So we know that 2 times 2, that's what 2 squared looks like, equals 4. Now we can work out what's in the brackets. So 4 take 1 is 3, and then now we work out multiplication. 6 times 3 is 18. Now we're going to do the same thing just to work out this one as another example, and then you're going to have a few that you are going to go and do in your grid book for today. So I would like you to follow along as we do this, and I'll show you the next thing in a minute. So 3 plus 2 times by, and once again the brackets are first, but there's an exponent in the brackets, so we actually need to do the exponent first. So 3 plus 2 times 19 take away, and 3 squared is the same as 3 times 3 because that exponent is whispering into the ear, this is how many times I want to see you multiply by yourself. So we see 3 twice in our multiplication, which is 9. So we can do 3 plus 2 times, and we should be able to do 19 take 9 easily enough, which is 10. Now this is where people get confused. So we've done this, and now we're up to multiplication or divide. So we've got a multiplication, so that's next. So now we're doing 2 times 10, which is 20. And now we're doing 20 plus 3. Great job. All right, lastly, this is your task for today. So you're going to do some of these questions in your grid books. Now, very important that you write down the questions or screenshot this, and then no more working out on your iPad. So I would like you to really practice using the grid squares properly. So each whole number goes in its own grid square, but if it's an exponent, that would go together in a grid. The multiplication, all of the symbols, go in their own grid square. So spacing out, you're working out so it's really clear and you don't make mistakes. You have 4 questions I'd like you to try. Now, I will show you the answers today on Seesaw, so you have to tune back into that later and check your answers in your grid book. I don't need you to post them unless you're having trouble. You can post which ones you're having trouble with and we can help you through that. But yeah, just check off the answers later today. If you would like to try this challenge, go for it. In here I've put a square root symbol, which is the opposite of if a square of a number. So some of you might have a super memory and remember that from last term when we've talked about square roots. If you don't remember this, you can challenge yourself to look it up and have a go, or you can just leave it. It's not necessary to know this right now. It's just a challenge. Good luck, and make sure you remember to follow the rest of the pathway for today.